Hi everyone, today PhoneArena is going to be looking at some of the similarities and differences between the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the HTC Rezound. Even though the HTC Rezound has been on the market for about 8 months now, it's still priced at $199 on contract. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S3 recently came out. The 16 gigabyte version is also $199, with the 32 gigabyte version coming in at $249. So definitely a competitive pricing between the two models. As far as our overall styling is concerned, the Galaxy S3 is more aesthetically pleasing, definitely more stylish overall. It's relatively thin and lightweight. Only thing we don't like about it is its overall plasticky feeling with the slippery back on here. Meanwhile, the HTC Rezound is more brick-like. It's also much thicker and a bit heavier too, but it does have a soft touch coating on the back with some ridges that provide some a little bit more grip to it than the overall slick plastic that you get with the Samsung Galaxy S3. But other than that, as you can see, it's both of them are candy bar shape. Even though the Galaxy S3 is a little bit taller and wider than the HTC Rezound, the Rezound is definitely the thicker of the two. And like we said, the Rezound is also a little bit more heavier. One of the most noticeable differences between the two phones is with the display. The Galaxy S3 is using a 4.8-inch Super AMOLED display at a HD resolution. The HTC Rezound is using a smaller 4.3-inch display. It's also a LCD, but is also HD resolution. Both of them have the same resolution of 1280 by 720, but because of the difference in the type of display that is used, Super AMOLED and SLCD, definitely do notice a bit of a difference here with the colors. The color on the Galaxy S3 definitely has that nice saturated look to it, while the HTC Rezound not quite as much fullness in color. Also, another difference is with the viewing angle. The Galaxy S3 has a pretty good viewing angle until you start getting to extreme angles, and then the color and contrast seem to drop off. However, on the HTC Rezound, even just going to a little bit off axis, as you can see, the color and contrast really start to drop down, a lot more prevalent on the HTC Rezound than the Samsung Galaxy S3. We also noticed that when using the phones outside in direct sunlight, the Galaxy S3 is a little bit brighter and easier to view. One of the reasons is that the Galaxy S3 is using a reflective coating above the screen. This helps to cut down on sunlight reflection, while the HTC Rezound isn't quite as viewable in sunlight, and does provide a nice sunlight glare in your eyes when trying to view it. So overall, between the two, we do like the screen on the Galaxy S3 the best. One key difference between the two devices is the user interface. As of right now, the HTC Rezound is still running on Android 2.3.6 Gingerbread, still waiting for the ice cream sandwich update on it. It also has the HTC Sense layered user interface over it. Provides a total of 7 home screens, pretty fluid moving throughout them. Meanwhile, the Samsung Galaxy S3 comes with Android 4.0.4 ice cream sandwich right out of the box, and is also using their TouchWiz Nature UX layered interface over it. So between the two, the TouchWiz with the Android ice cream sandwich is the most up to date. The HTC Rezound is supposed to be receiving a ice cream sandwich update at some point this year, but at this point it's still a wait and see game on that. As far as the app drawer is concerned, The Galaxy S3 is moving horizontally side to side. As you can see, pretty quick and fluid movement here throughout the app drawer. Meanwhile, the HTC Rezound is still using the regular vertical scrolling on its app drawer. Not quite as nice and fluid as what you will get on the Samsung Galaxy S3. Both web browsers do a pretty good job of rendering web pages. However, on the Galaxy S3, kinetic scrolling does seem to be a lot more fluid. As you can see, the HTC Rezound not quite as smooth as what you get on the Galaxy S3. Also, with pinch to zoom on the Galaxy S3 is pretty nice and smooth with not a whole lot of delay. The HTC Rezound is a little bit more jagged with its pinch to zoom. So overall, a little bit more pleased with the browsing experience on the Galaxy S3 just because it's a little bit more smoother overall. Of course, one of the key features of both phones is that they're capable of running on Verizon's 4G LTE data network. A little bit ago, we had some bad weather in the area, seemed to be affecting the speeds, but seems to have cleared up some now. The Galaxy S3 is pulling 9.40 megabits per second on the download, with the uploads at 6.44. Meanwhile, the HTC Rezound not quite as fast at 7.25 megabits per second download and 3.76 on the upload. So continually over the past few days that we've been using the devices, the Samsung Galaxy S3 does seem to pull faster download and upload speeds than the HTC Rezound. However, we did notice that the Rezound does seem to have the better RF signal for 4G LTE. We've been able to use it in some buildings and houses, maintain a 4G signal. The Samsung Galaxy S3 also does pretty good, though not quite as well. We have noticed occasional 4G outages when going into buildings or houses. Every so often it may switch from 4G to 3G while the HTC Rezound stays locked at 4G. But outside, in the open, or in your car using navigation, both of them have stayed connected pretty good, but the Samsung Galaxy S3 does continually download faster over the 4G than the HTC Rezound. The processors on both phones are 1.5 gigahertz dual core. However, the Samsung Galaxy S3 is using the latest generation Snapdragon S4, while the HTC Rezound is using last year's Snapdragon S3. Also, the Samsung Galaxy S3 comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM, with the Rezound at only 1 gigabyte of RAM. So because of that, you can see here we have the Antutu benchmark already ran. The Samsung Galaxy S3 has a pretty good score of a 6,863, while the HTC Rezound not quite as fast at a 5,603. Also, the Quadrant benchmark on the Samsung Galaxy S3 comes in a little over 5,000, with the HTC Rezound at a 24 to 2,500. Also, the Needmark 2, which measures the frame per second on the graphics. The HTC Rezound not good, with only 33.9 frames per second, while the Samsung Galaxy S3 does really well at 58.7 frames per second. So overall, between the two, definitely the Snapdragon S4 processor with the 2 gigabytes RAM on the Galaxy S3 pretty much crushes the S3 processor on the HTC Rezound with its 1 gigabyte of RAM. Both the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the HTC Rezound come with a 8 megapixel autofocus camera. However, there are some noticeable differences between the images. The Galaxy S3 colors are more natural looking, while on the HTC Rezound, not quite as natural. Also can be a little bit artificial looking at times. Meanwhile, the Samsung Galaxy S3 is also a little bit sharper and more detailed than what we would get with the HTC Rezound. As far as the interior shots, the Samsung Galaxy S3 also seems to do the best in this area as well. Also, when it comes to flash images, the HTC Rezound does the best with flash, as you can see. I'm sorry, the Samsung Galaxy S3 does the best with flash. Images are properly exposed and good color, while the HTC Rezound, as you can see, has sort of a bluish tint to them with the flash picture. So overall, between the two phones for taking snapshots, the Samsung Galaxy S3 does provide the best camera experience. Colors are more natural looking, where they're overexposed on the Rezound, and also flash images definitely look a lot nicer with the Galaxy S3 than on the HTC Rezound. Both phones are also capable of recording 1080p video at 30 frames per second. Again, though, we did notice some differences. The Galaxy S3 colors are, again, more natural than the oversaturated colors that we get with the Rezound. Also, video is also much sharper and clearer on the Galaxy S3, while the HTC Rezound is not quite as sharp and clear as what we would get with the Galaxy S3. So overall, between the camera and the video recording capability, the Samsung Galaxy S3 does come out on top over the HTC Rezound. For call quality, both the phones do pretty well overall. The Samsung Galaxy S3 voices are a little bit thinner and not quite as natural sounding as what we got with the HTC Rezound. Has a little bit better voice quality. However, two issues that we had with the HTC Rezound is that we could hear a continual background hiss during all calls, and also if the person that you're talking to emphasizes certain words or speaks a little bit too loud, and you don't adequately adjust the call volume, the speaker on the HTC Rezound does seem to have a bit of a rattle to it with higher call volume than what you would get on the Samsung Galaxy S3. So because those two issues with the HTC Rezound, we do prefer the call quality on the Samsung Galaxy S3 more. Even though voices aren't quite as natural sounding, calls are perfectly clear, no background hiss, and even with the speaker turned all the way up, no rattling in the speaker. Still in all, the Motorola DROID RAZR Max that we did in our previous video does still have the better voice quality over both of these. So pretty much the way we would rank it is Motorola DROID RAZR Max as number one in voice quality, with the Samsung Galaxy S3 in the middle and the HTC Rezound as third. Another difference is the battery life. The Samsung Galaxy S3 comes with a 2100 milliamp battery. This is able to provide us up to 8 hours of continuous talk time on a full charge, or about 1 day of mixed usage. Meanwhile, the HTC Rezound has a much smaller 1620 milliamp battery. This is only able to provide up to 6 hours of talk time. So definitely the larger battery on the Galaxy S3 providing 2 hours of talk time, and also more mixed usage time than the battery on the HTC Rezound. Still in all, heavy users may want to pick up a extra battery for either device. So between both phones, we're definitely more impressed with the Galaxy S3. This should come as no surprise since it's the much newer device here. Overall, the styling of the Galaxy S3 is a lot nicer than the HTC Rezound. We do like the larger display at 4.8 inches as opposed to the 4.3 inches on the Rezound. But also, one of the key difference here is the user interface. Got ice cream sandwich versus gingerbread, TouchWiz versus Sense UI. So we are liking the TouchWiz interface on the Samsung, even though the HTC Sense does have those extra personalizations such as skins that isn't on the Samsung. But other than that, the Samsung also has the faster processor with the Snapdragon S4 and twice the RAM as on the HTC Rezound. So as of right now, since the 16 gigabyte version of the Galaxy S3 is $199, same price as the HTC Rezound, it's a definite clear winner here that the Samsung Galaxy S3 is the better device between the two. So if you want to check out our full in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy S3 or the HTC Rezound, be sure to visit our website at PhoneArena.com.